and giving me this opportunity to share with you some of my thoughts. You may agree with those thoughts, you may disagree with them, but it is always productive, it will be protective if you engage in a discussion, in a dialogue. In the spirit of inquiry. Because as they say, truth is in the clash of ideas. And truth cannot suffer because we disagree. In fact, truth gains more faces and glow, shine, when it is looked at from various angles. And we are inheritors of the tradition of dialogue, samvada, tarka. And the Upanishad is unfolded, which is the Upanishad, which is the quintessence of Indian wisdom, is unfolded in terms of dialogues. The student asks questions and the Rishi answers, and the student counter questions and the Rishi patiently listens and then tries to explain, and finally the Rishi says, we both are co-travelers. I may be wrong, you may be right, but if you are right, if I am wrong, please explain to me why I am wrong. So that's the spirit of our tradition. So to the Bhagavad Gita also is in terms of a conversation. Arjuna asked 18 questions. And Krishna tried to answer all those questions, and Krishna thought he answered all of them. That is why at the end of the Gita, Krishna asked, have you listened to me carefully? And have your doubt been cleared? So Arjuna says, yes, I have listened to you carefully. But then Krishna also added a clause. Eda vimarsya sheshena yadhechasi tatha guru. Listen to me carefully. Then use your own critical faculties based on your experience, your situations. Eda asheshena vimarsya. Vimarsya means critically approaching that. Yadhechasi tatha guru. You make your own choices. And I'll be with you. Whatever decision you make, I'll be with you. I have told you whatever I knew, whatever I thought is right. But ultimately it is your decision. Ultimately you have to stand up for whatever you have decided, but I'll be with you. So that kind of a conversational style is our heritage. And that's why maybe that famous economist Amartya Sen wrote a book which is titled The Argumentative Indian. Indians always argue.
Yes.
And it also says, Tarko hi apradishta sudayo vibhinna naigo rishiyasya madam pramanam dharmasya dattum nihidam guhayam mahajano yena jadasapanta. Tarka means argument may not take you to the ultimate essence. The scriptures are many. Rishis have got different opinions. But finally, you have to expose yourself to all this and then reflect and finally take decisions and own up that decisions and feel responsible for that decision. That's what the Mahabharata says. So here, the topic that I have chosen is a vision for global Hinduism. We all are confessional Hindus. I am a Hindu. I confess I am a Hindu wherever I go. I have no shame about that, because that's what I am teaching. So most of us are confessional Hindus, meaning we admit that we are Hindus with all its flaws. Not that Hinduism is a perfect 100% correct religion. No religion can be that perfect. Just as human beings are not perfect, a religion also cannot be perfect. So, but then we are Hindus, we are ready to improve, if improvement is necessary, and we are ready to own up if there are some flaws, mistakes, and we are ready to learn from other religions, and we are ready to learn from other cultures, civilizations, and we are open about Ano, Bhadra, Gardavo, Yanda, Vishwada. Let thoughts come from all sides. But I don't want to be swept off my feet when these winds of thoughts and ideas come from all sides. I want to be stable on my feet. So that comes from a person or a culture which is self-confident. A culture which is self-confident, which is ready to change, which is ready to own up, which is ready to analyze, and a culture which has got a history of self-confidence. They alone can say, let ideas flow from all sides, and we can stand it. And in fact, it is by creatively interacting with the different idea that we unfold ourselves. Our own potentialities can manifest only when we interact with the creative ideas, which is coming from all directions. Otherwise, we will be living an incestuous life, breeding within ourselves, without any current coming from outside. So even to discover oneself, one's own potentialities, one has to interact with the different ideas, a process of give and take. I give you something, I take something from you. So that kind of a reciprocal activities will enhance everybody's capacities and abilities. So that's the spirit. And India has been living like that, inviting ideas, inviting people from all sides and trying to understand what the other person is so that we can explain what we are. So the presentation which I want to give you today is a vision for global Hinduism. Now, we all agree that the world has become global. What do you mean by the world has become global? Some people say the world is becoming flat. Some people say the world is a globe. Some people say the world is becoming global. Why should it become global? It is already a globe. So becoming global, I understand, you can correct me. Becoming global means people are moving from place to place. Ideas are flowing from area to another areas. Capital is moving, people are moving, ideas are moving, products are moving. And this tremendous movement which is taking place in this world. So I find the whole universe is in my bedroom. When I wake up in the morning and switch on the TV, I feel the whole world is in my bedroom. Then I go to my bathroom, there is a TV. In the kitchen there is another TV. So wherever I go, the whole world is. Then I have got a permanently fixed telephone in my ear, so everything is constantly flowing into me. I cannot escape from the world. And this internet age, I have access to information from all sides. I can use the mouse like Ganesha using the mouse, riding the mouse and getting information from all sides. So I have access to information from all sides. I have access to information which I had not accessed before, all kind of information. So in such a world, we all have become a world citizen. Not just an Indian citizen or an American citizen. Of course, our roots are there, our branches are growing outward, and it is giving shade to the whole world. So that is the kind of world we are living. Even families have become global. Because my daughter is married to a Japanese, my son is married to an African, my second son is dating a Eurasian vacation, and this way my family has become global. Corporations have become global. Everything has become global. So even the individual, my doctor is a African American, my dentist is a Chinese, my urologist is somebody else, and then, so this way everything is global now. We are living in a global world. In such a situation, how do we understand Hinduism is good? So, of course, before we understand Hinduism, why do we try to understand any ism at all? What is our purpose? What is the purpose of inquiry? What is the purpose of critical theory? What is the purpose? So the purpose, as we say in our religion or in other religions or even humanities or modern scientific inquiries, everywhere, the purpose is human flourish, human freedom, justice, equality. That's the purpose. So Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram, truth, goodness and beauty. Or freedom, equality, justice. That's the purpose. The liberation of human being, the human spirit. Where the human spirit finds its expression, unhindered expression. He doesn't feel any inhibitions at all. So a condition where human beings are free to express themselves, their God-given talents, in their effort to fulfill their needs and express their innate capacities, they need freedom. So the human flourish, which in India we say Loka Sangraha. Loka Sangrahameva Abhisambhashyan Karma Kartumas. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So Loka Sangraha or Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Let the whole world be happy. So the human flourish, human freedom. And freedom means that condition where we can fulfill our needs and express our talents in an interactive space. Because it is only when we interact with others, we create the space where we can explore and express our talents. So that kind of a condition we need. That's the purpose, which we call moksha. There's another word, moksha. That is what we need. So if that is the purpose, and that is to be realized in a global scale, because I find the talent will run wherever it is wanted. Capital will run, will be parked wherever it is usefully employed. So if you are it doesn't matter whether you are a Hindu or a Christian or a Muslim, if you are a talented person, people will pick you up. That is why we all are here. Otherwise we should have stayed in India. Why are we here? Because we found better opportunities here. And when we come here from India, we say, no, after 10 years we will go back. 10 years, 12 years, 13 years, 15 years. Why are you here still? Why are you here still? Because India, it is pollution. My grandchildren may not like the toilet. There is mosquito, there is flies, there is corruption, there is pollution, there is asthma problem. Therefore, and then finally your children are all grown up and they have got children. Now they have to babysit. You have to babysit them. You are not going to go back. I guarantee you. None of you are going to go back. So the idea is that wherever, like a tree puts out its roots and branches wherever there is light and water, similarly we all gravitate towards when there is opportunities. That's the world today. Even a hardcore nationalist, I asked somebody, I love Bharat. Then why are you here? I am waiting, I have to attend an interview. Interview for what? For American citizenship. I was shocked. You love so much India, you are waiting here for American citizenship? Because opportunities. So that I can, when I am sick, I can come here. When my child has to get a good education, I can send her here. There is a slight hypocrisy involved in it, but I still appreciate that person's intelligence. After all, he is a Hindu. So therefore, we are practical human beings. Whatever ideological bandage you put on that, makeup you put over that, basically we are practical human beings. So in that situation, if this is our ideal is a human flourish, and that can be created only on a global scale. India alone cannot progress. China alone cannot progress. China registered this 9% progress growth, or 10 double-digit growth, is because of Americans riding on America's stupidity. America consumes, China produces. China is holding $2 trillion of American debt. 2 trillion, not a simple amount. So therefore, this is a symbiotic relationship. China cannot grow by itself. India also cannot grow by itself. After 1990, India registered all that progress because of exports. IT export, or this export, that export. So if we want to grow, we have to grow as a global society. There is no other choice. We are not going to go all by ourselves. That's the logic of economics, human self-interest. You can call it enlightened self-interest or unenlightened self-interest, whatever name you give for that. That is sheer logic, sheer intelligence. Intelligence is utilizing the opportunities for your growth and help a few other people if you can, because otherwise they are going to pull you down. See, that is the condition for human flourish, that we have to grow as global citizens. And in that, what Hinduism can contribute, ideologically, psychologically, historically. And I find Hinduism is well placed. It has got inherent capacity, historical capability, psychological capability, because we are a pluralistic culture. We enjoy diversity. If you travel from India, from one foreign city to another city, every 100 kilometers, everything is different. And we are very comfortable. We may not speak the language. We may not eat the same food. When I go to Rajasthan, I don't understand the language, I don't like the food, because the milk of the camel I don't like. But when people come from Orissa to Kerala, they don't like coconut milk, they don't like coconut oil, they say it smells bad. For me, their oil smells bad. Even their sweat smells bad. So every 100 miles, every 100 kilometers, things are different. But still we are very comfortable. We are very comfortable. We are also speaking. When I go to other place, I may not know the language, but great conversation is happening. That is the Indian style. It's built into our DNA. That Hindus flourish in diversity, in plurality. Where there is difference, dissent, we have developed a capacity, psychological and social skill, to flourish in such situation. And that is the mindset we have to bring into the universe world today. That is the competitive advantage of Hinduism. That's what I said. Hinduism must go global. They have to go global, because the world is waiting for this. Of course, you read articles, 30% of Americans are Hindus because they believe in rebirth, they believe in reincarnation, they cremate their dead people and all that. Yoga, Ayurveda, or vegetarianism. At least once in a week they are vegetarians. So this way, the world is looking for this philosophy, this religious attitude. that we can coexist with the difference. You may worship your God, let me worship my God, and let me share your experience, and so that you may share my experience. Let us engage in conversations. Ano bhadra kradavo yandu visuddha egam sat vipraha bahuda vadanti. I know some people are not that comfortable with that statement. Egam sat vipraha bahuda vadanti. That is because they have not thought about that. They are having still a gatto mentality. They are still thinking that kind of old colonial concepts. If I open up myself, I may be conquered. That is because you still don't have self-confidence. That is why I run away from competition. I run away from a dialogue. I run away from a discussion. And if you run away from a dialogue and discussion, then you are disabling yourself. Even to bring out your own potential, you have to compete with the other people. If I want to bring up my muscles, I have to lift heavier and heavier weights every day, day after day. Then alone the huddle muscles will manifest. So one has to compete, one has to associate with people who descend from us. These days I read advertisements. I need a top-notch manager who will descend from the present leadership. You descend, for that you are paying? Yes. If you are only agreeing with what I am saying, you are redundant, isn't it? So this kind of a mindset. We are comfortable in living in a pluralistic world, and we are inclusive people, and that's the spirit of Hinduism, and that spirit we are to bring into the world. That is what I would say, globalizing Hinduism. Globalize Hinduism. Take out those inhibitions that we have. Once upon a time we had an idea we should not cross the oceans. Mahatma Gandhi crossed the ocean, he was excommunicated for that. But if he had not crossed the ocean, we would have missed a Mahatma. Some people say, who cares? So therefore, these days, everybody is talking about Mahatma Gandhi. Wherever I go, Barack Obama talks about Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela talks about Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr. talks about Mahatma Gandhi, even Lee Pen talks about Mahatma Gandhi, and Hu Jindal talks about Mahatma Gandhi. Everybody is talking about Mahatma Gandhi. Therefore, we also start thinking there may be something worth in that old man. Because Indians always want some support from outside. So therefore, we have to we have to take Hinduism aggressively. The world is looking for that. We don't have to be ashamed of that. We have to take Hinduism aggressively. How we take it, that's a different question. That we have to debate. Some people ask, what is Hinduism? Is there anything called Hinduism? There is Shaivism, Vaishnavism, then Ganapatya, then Shakteya, then Kaumara, there is this, that, there is no Hinduism. Some people say, okay, let us sit down. Okay, you can either, in the name of Hinduism, you take these different sampradayas. And they also can become global powers, like Hare Krishna movement. It's a global force. Or Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, he took the meditation system all over the world. Or the yoga is moving all over the world. So even if you take one slice of Hinduism, that itself can have a global appeal. Then what to talk about the whole ideology, the whole ideal of Hinduism. For example, the Advaita Vedanta ideal, with which Shankaracharya united all the Hindus. Shankaracharya, when Hinduism was in disarray, from the attack of Buddhism and all other isms, It is Shankaracharya, the lone Brahmin from South India, and all over the world. Within the age of 32 years, he traveled all over the world, all the corners of India, set up muds and trained the people and wrote bhashyas, and finally he revived Hinduism under the umbrella of Advaita Vedanta. And Advaita is a super critical theory, much higher than Marxism, feminism, or postmodernism, or whatever isms are there, much higher, much deeper, much profounder, much fulfilling. So Shankaracharya went all around and unified Hinduism. And I think it is this Advaita Vedanta which you have to project into the global scale, so that we can bring not only different religious denominations on the global scale, but even science and humanistic, everything can be brought under the Advaita tradition. Hinduism is the religion of the future. Let us not keep in our pocket and say that this is only for India. Of course, we have this definition, like Kalidasa said, talked about India, Bharat and all that, or there is one the geographical definition of Hinduism, land-focused definition of Hinduism. Like Damodar Sarwarkar defined Hindus in his Hindutva concept. And he defines Hindus. Who are the Hindus? His definition is Asindu Sindhu Bhadyanda Yasya Bharata Bhumika Pidrubhu Punyabhuschaiva Savai Hindirudu Smrita. Asindu Sindhu Bhadyanda Yasya Bharata Bhumika Pidrubhu Punyabhuschaiva Savai Hindirudu Smrita. Hindu is one who considers his India or Bharat as holy land and fatherland or homeland, whichever way you want to put it. From Asindhu, Sapta Sindhu to the ocean, Indian Ocean, only that much land. Those who consider that is my land, he is a Hindu. That's a very narrow definition. Whereas we say the whole Bhumi, the whole globe is my Vasudeva Kudumbagam, whichever context it was said. Some people say it was said in a different context, whatever it is. Vasudeva Kudumbagam, the human, the whole planet is my homeland. That's what our concept. So let us not narrow down Hinduism into that particular piece of land. Hinduism has to go out. Hinduism has to become global. And then it will come back to India. So by this, of course, its epicenter will be India, definitely. Because wherever Hindu... Yesterday I met a Jewish couple. They told me they are Hindus. They say, we went to Rishikesh and Badrinath and Varanasi. We are Hindus. Though they were born Jewish people. So they consider Ganga as holy. They consider Himalayas are holy. So as a Hindu, wherever you are, you have got a spiritual connection with India. But that does not mean that India alone is for Hindus, or Hindus can live only in India, or Hinduism is only for those who are born in India. One scholar I heard defining who is a Hindu. Those who are born in India is a Hindu. So which a tough definition. Then Advani, is he Hindu or not? Because at that time it was India, now it is not India, Pakistan. So it's all confusing definitions. Those who are born in India is a Hindu. Those who are born in India but claims, or if he disclaims, he is born in India but he disclaims he is a Hindu, then that's a different question. These are all very convoluted definitions. A Hindu is one who believes in certain principles of Hinduism. Not only believes, but practices. Let us give that broad definition for a Hindu. So, my first appeal is globalize Hinduism and take all the challenges involved in it. It is not that easy. There are challenges involved in it. We may need universities to teach Hinduism. We need prajaras to send all over the world. And they are going to face questions from various people, and they have to answer. They must practice what Hinduism is. Most of the Hindu teachers, some of the Hindu teachers may not be practicing what they are teaching, and they are bringing bad name to Hinduism, and they have to be exposed, and we must have the courage to expose that people also. If you don't have the courage, because he is a Hindu, he can do anything, or he is wearing this cloth, he can do anything, that is out of pure fear complex. And that means you don't know what you're talking about. So let us define Hinduism based on its principles, not because whether you are born here or there. This is what I mean by globalizing Hinduism. And we can discuss the nitty-gritty later. This is not the forum for that. How do we implement it? What are the challenges? What should we do for that? And secondly, India has got a different destiny. India has not fulfilled its full potential. And I remember Kalidasa not Kalidasa, Chanakya. Chanakya was a great statesman, economist, politician. So in his Arthashastra, he has a beautiful definition for what economics is, what politics is, and all that. So there he used a concept called Chakravarti Kshetra. That every country has got a natural geopolitical limit. And unless it expands to that limit, it becomes weak. So India has a natural geopolitical strategic limit. And that limit includes the present India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, Afghanistan, Burma, and Sri Lanka, and Tibet. This is India's natural geostrategic limit. And if we don't expand ourselves, I don't say by a military campaign, but by some other strategy, maybe a common economic space, like Europe is uniting. Unless we expand ourselves to include Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka, and Nepal, and ensure the neutrality of Afghanistan and Tibet and Burma, we cannot be politically secure. We cannot become a superpower. And if you are not a superpower, you cannot expand your dharma. So if you want to expand, as a Hindu, if you want to expand your dharma, India has to be a superpower. And superpower means we need intercontinental ballistic missiles, not just missiles which can deliver bombs in Peking or Beijing. That's not enough, because Beijing will team up with America. So we need a strategy, a geopolitical and military strategy, where we can be independent and assert our policies, foreign policies. And that needs expansion. And how do we expand? Don't ask me, because I'm not a military strategist. That's what you have to think. So, but we need this expansion. This is what the British people did. They are very smart people. They made sure that Tibet is neutral, Burma is under control, Afghanistan under control, United India. This is India's natural limit. At least some wisdom is dawning on India now. We are having strategic partnership with Vietnam, with Japan, with Afghanistan, and now we have to go to Kazakhstan, Russia already we have and China is going to be our natural enemy according to Chanakya. Because neighbor are always enemies. Neighbor's neighbor is your friend. So following that theory, we have to expand the Chakravarti. We need a philosophy for that, political and social philosophy. That's what I said. You have to secularize India. Because in that conglomeration, in that space, the new space we are envisaging, we are trying to re-envision India for the 21st century. In that space, in the present, according to the present statistics, there will be 500 million Muslims and 100 million Hindus and Buddhists and all that. So we need a political strategy, a political philosophy, which is different from the spiritual philosophy, which can accommodate this diversity. And that is what I call secularism. How you define it, we can sit down and discuss. So India has to be secularized, India has to expand and realize its full geostrategic potential, and Hinduism has to be globalized, and Hinduism has to be defined in terms of its fundamental principle rather than a geographical principle. And once we do that, we are going to be a superpower. And India, when it is a superpower, then Hinduism will have its full glory. And when Hinduism can also say that, let us control the temples. At this point, temples in India are controlled by government. Now, Trivandrum, Padmanabha Swami temple has got $27 billion. Who will take that? Government will take it. Tirupati or this Padi, various temples have got wealth. All this wealth can be used for revival of Hinduism. And that money is, because that money is earned in a different way, and if it is used for some other purpose, it will be underemployed. That money will be underutilized. So Hindus can flourish in India when they are not confusing themselves with the politics. Let us concentrate on our work. Our work is to propagate Hinduism, not only in India, but all over the world. But the nation, India as a state, the nation has to be secular, meaning respect for all religions and freedom for all religions, and government concentrating on secular ideals like people's material well-being, rule of law and legislation, strong army, internal security and communal harmony, blah blah, all that. That's what the government should be concerned. So if we can proceed on those lines, I'm sure Hinduism will be saved and India also will find its full potential. And in the process, each one of us will find our potential. Thank you very much. Hari Om.